Hey everybody, welcome to this Xbox Live episode number 535, titled Scarlet Rumors. And that is not the color Scarlet, it's the hardware Scarlet. My name is Rob, also known as Presar, and with me I've got my good buddy Mark.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
And he's back, folks. No one is more excited than I, my friend. Glad to
Uh,
have you back. I missed you. And I'm sure everybody
I'm
else missed you.
pretty happy.
Yeah.
Pretty excited to be back.
Woohoo. Get to talk about gaming, Xbox, anything else we want to talk about, because that's how we roll here at this Xbox Life. And a couple quick things before we get on with the show. Just want to make mention, listen to us live Sunday nights, approximately 10 p.m. Central. You can find us on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. And we are not affiliated with Microsoft or the Xbox in any way. This is a show being done by fans for fans of the Xbox. The views and opinions expressed do not reflect those of Microsoft. And also, quick mention also with Amazon Prime, you can get Twitch Prime. And thanks to Go Fast, Go Hard for subscribing to us a little while ago. And I think you did too, Mark.
I was
Yes, you
just
did. Yes,
bragging.
yes, yes. But what have you been playing lately, my friend?
um, well, okay. So, as everybody knows, I've been gone for a few weeks. Had a death in the family, so I had to leave town. Um,
Yeah,
so, uh, it's been rough. So there wasn't much gaming, obviously, but while I was gone, did I ended up getting my youngest son a Switch. My mother had purchased a laptop for the two oldest kids, um, and we got a Switch for my youngest. So of course he wanted to play Fortnite on there. So I had
that's
taken my Switch
harmless,
with
right?
me. Yeah, well, you would think, but I had my Switch with me too, and so we both started playing. This was like the second week. This was just last week, um, and so while we were at grandma's house, we were playing a little of that. We were playing together, so I was trying to play on the Switch, and the buttons are different. And the frustrating thing is they have A, B,
Yeah.
X, Y, but they're in the wrong place. Or maybe Xboxes are in the wrong place, but
No,
it's it's really annoying. So,
there's in the wrong place, definitely.
yeah, so and I had a hard time, like, just the and I love the Switch. I think I really do like it. I don't really play it much, but I like the idea, like the concept. I think it's like a great traveling portable game system, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully these promises of Xbox Nintendo partnership to seeing like xCloud on the Switch. I think that would be cool. But what I found out, and I didn't go back to see if there's probably an option to change it, but I had a really hard time, like, the sticks. So when I'd move them, they moved too much. So I kept, like, going past someone that you're trying to shoot.
Yeah.
I had a real hard time lining up my shot. And so I was like, "I'm just not gonna play this on here." It's just, and I tried to link my account to my Switch to the Epic. So you got an Epic account, you got a Switch account, there's an Xbox account. Somehow it didn't do it. It didn't work and it won't let me like try again. And so I gave up. I was like, I'm not gonna bother playing on here because you're supposed to be able to like play it anywhere and carry your character over.
Sure.
And I don't know. I guess I screwed it up. I did something wrong, but it didn't work for me. So it's like now I have 2 different accounts, and so I'm like, "Nope, just sticking with the Xbox." Well, later in the week, I was like, "Okay, we need I need play. I need to do something." I was like, "You know what? Maybe I'll go get the Xbox All Digital Edition," you know? It's cheap, right? I'm like, "It's $50 cheaper than the cheapest one. I think
Sure.
I can get that thing for, like, 200 bucks, maybe even less." Wrong. I go over to we go so I take the kids, we go to Best Buy, and that thing is like 3 no, what was it? $250. And I'm like, "What?"
Well, that's Xbox. I mean, that's Best Buy charging full price. I mean,
Yeah, it's like everybody's like so it's like so now that means the other is like $300
hmm
for the standard. And I'm just like, so this is like now the new low price. So everybody jacked up the price of the Xbox. Why am I saying 360? Of the Xbox One back up to the $300 price point because they got a new lower price one. So it didn't drop anything like I had expected. Well, as I'm sitting there looking at it, I noticed sitting next to it this Fortnite console bundle. And this is the one with the purple console and the supposedly purple controller and, comes with Fortnite even though it's free, but it's
hmm
only battle royale, that's the other thing too,
but
which I thought was kinda crappy. It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, it comes bundled with this." It's a free game. All you get is the battle royale mode. You don't get the full save the world and all that.
Well, wasn't that the lawsuit or whatever that they had? Because people were supposedly thinking that it came with Save the World.
Yeah, it
Once
it
once they
didn't.
found out about Save the World.
Yeah, save the world's a lot of fun.
hmm
So, but I was looking at it and I'm like, "Okay, that's the regular price." It's an S, which I already have. I have an X. But man, that purple console looks pretty cool,
Yeah, it does.
and so I bought it.
Ching.
Shouldn't have, but I did, and so I took it back, to my mother's house, and we hooked it up, and so at night, my youngest and I would play, and he'd play on his Switch, and we would get in together, and in fact, we played with you and your son a
hmm
couple of times. And it was just a lot of fun, and I tell you what, now I like Fortnite. I mean, I jumped in when it first came out, and I
Yep.
was paying for this game that was a beta, which that's a question I have is, when is this game ever going out of beta? Because it still has the beta tag well
Yeah,
over a year later.
I think it's
Like,
going to be like Gmail.
it's just gonna be in permanent beta form, but, I mean, I was really hooked into this game, and I played a lot of it, and I played through, like, the whole first, this was back before Battle Royale came out, so it was just Save the World, and I remember I enjoyed it so much that I bought the $150 version of the game, and it came with 2 free copies, so I gave you a copy, and I gave
Yeah,
Ron a copy of the game, and, of course, neither one of you played it, and, not right away, but then you have made good on that, and you have, like, just attached yourself to this game and, like, beat the campaign, and I'm still, like, I finished the 1st world, so I'm, like, in the 2nd world of Save the World,
sure.
and I
Plankerton.
wanna go back and play it, but all these things, like, all these other games came up, and it just got shoved to the side, and I never went back to it. And then when the Save the World or Battle Royale came out, I was like, "Oh, great, another PUBG copy." And I never, like, really got into it. And of course, my youngest loves it. He's just really into it, and it's annoying because that's all he talks about.
hmm
If it's not Fortnite coming out of his mouth, it's Marvel. Um, and it's just like, oh, like, "Kid, you've got to have a different topic on occasion to talk about." But, well, so I think it was in fact, it was before I left for my trip. Yeah, it was before I left for the trip. I him and I started playing together, and we had a lot of fun. He was playing on the one Xbox, I was playing on the other one, and, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time playing with him, and we were doing, Battle Royale, and I'm like, "This is really fun," with the whole I love the was it Team Rumble? I think
Yeah.
is what it's called?
Yep.
Okay. That I love because when you die, you spawn back in and you get to play. That to me is like the perfect I don't even wanna do squads, duos, or solo, none of that because you die and you're done. He's trying to get me into doing that, and I'm gonna be forced to do it due to challenges coming that I need to complete here pretty quick. So I have a feeling I'm putting a lot of time into that, just trying to hide. But, um, the Team Rumble is so much fun. I absolutely love it, and it is frustrating because I don't know how these guys are building and shooting at the same time, but it's constant, like, you go to shoot someone, all of a sudden, there's a wall in the way, and then they're building so fast, and they jump off this thing, and they're behind you, and they blast you one shot, and you're dead, and I'm like, "What happened? Where'd he go?" I
Yep.
I just can't build. I'm struggling just to build. I'm standing there like, "Okay, hit this button, okay, there's my ramp. Oh, I don't have any enough wood. Okay, what button do I hit to change to brick? Oh, I got that. Okay, so let me put a brick one." And then I walk up, and I'm like, "Okay, I gotta move it to the right spot to build another one." Bam, dead, you know? I'm like, "Hey, I was building here." But I ended up having so much fun that I bought the battle pass, and I even had spoken to you and said, "Is it worth it?" Because what? It was week
It's like week
I think it was at
6 or
the end of week
something.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like and you were like, "Ah, they're gonna come out with the new one. It's you're not, there's yeah, it would open up all the challenges to you, and you could do them right away instead of waiting, but there's not a lot of time left."
Right.
So, and what tier are you at right now in season 9? What is your battle pass tier?
I think
Do you
like
know?
79 or 80.
Okay. So you're at 79, 80. I've already passed you.
Yes, you have.
I can't remember. I think I hit 81 today. Because I was right at 79. I needed one more challenge, and then I hit enough challenges. Plus, yeah, so I'm at 81. And it just shows that my son and I have been playing a lot of this. But I gotta say, this, if you are looking for a game to play with your kids, this is, and you don't mind shooting, okay? That is a
Right.
caveat. Um, you know, because your kids are running around shooting people. But if they're able to understand that it's a game and we don't do that in real life, this is a fantastic game because we are doing, like, he gets so excited. He's like, Dad, come over here. And he's like, I found the duck. And so he's like, I go over there.
All
And I
the
think what's so cool
challenges.
about it,
Yeah.
yeah, is like, what's so cool is he's like, he is so into it, and he's telling me, "Well, do this and do that," and he loves it because I'm having fun, and he's getting to tell me, "Hey, let's do this," and then, if I find a fort bite that he didn't, then, like, earlier today, we were watching a movie, and he's sitting there playing on his Switch, and he's like, "Where's that fort bite in J3?" So he handed me his Switch, and I highlighted it on the map. I said, "Go over here and look, and then when you get there, if you need me to find it, then hand it back." But he found it. I actually hit the marker right on the spot where it
Oh,
was, I
nice.
guess. So he finally found it, but, like, when he gets one and he's like, he'll come in, "Dad, I found this one, and here, go over here, and it's right," and he'll take me right to it, and it's he comes in with, like, "We gotta do these challenges, and here's what we gotta do," and it's so much fun. I've never had, like, so much fun with my kids in a video game. I don't even think, like, doing anything. I mean, like, this is a thing that keeps going, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's really a lot of fun. The game is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. There's so many different things. We went in yesterday, I think it was, and all of a sudden, like, one area we've been to before, now it was like it changed, and now it's like a busted out amusement park, like broken roller coasters, and they've got golden chests at the top of these things. It's like, okay, well, I got to build to get to it, and it's just it's like the world's constantly changing. It's a lot of fun.
And it doesn't get stale in terms of like the map, right?
Yeah, it's not getting stale. Now I really liked Apex Legends and was in season 1 of that, but I didn't play in it very far. And then this one is just, man, I'm like, come on back, it's got hooks on me. I think Fortnite threw or my son threw the line out, and I bit, and I
Zzz.
got reeled in, and
Yeah.
I'm just dangling on the wire going, "Give me more, give me more." Um It's crazy, like, and I loved Fortnite when it before it was even battle royale.
Right. Right.
So, but if you're looking for something with your kids, because most kids love this game. It's free. There's the bonus, it's free.
Ish.
Well, ish.
Free-ish.
And my so my son comes running down today at, was it 5 o'clock tonight? Dad, the wingman is back in the item shop." It's just a skin, and it was called something else. I already forgot what it is, but it showed up today. But he's trying to tell me, he's like, and I think he's wrong because it seems to me I saw the wingman and it looked more like a pilot, but this one looks kind of like a pilot outfit. Um, but it was like 2,000 V-bucks. I'm like, wait a minute,
It's
that's like
$20. Yep.
$20. And he's
Yep.
like, yeah, but dad, you need it. I'm like, wait a minute, no, but it's $20. I still bought it. And then
Nice.
they had a glider in there where it was these wings. And I'm like, well, I am the wingman. I have to get the wings.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I'm already dropping coin in the item shop. So that's the whole free-ish part. And he's
Yeah.
like, if you hit that, and here's what he's trying to do. He's trying to, and this kid, you know, they're smart. They know what they're doing. He's sitting there going, if you hit the gift button, I can gift it to you. And I'm like, no, if I hit gift, then I'm buying it to gift it to you. And you know that I'm not that dumb.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of grinning. I'm like, oh,
That's awesome.
sorry. So he's constantly trying to get me to gift him something.
Yeah.
But and again, they can play and get the V-bucks and he's unlocked stuff and bought stuff that he
Mhm.
didn't have to pay real money for. But it's cool because you're constantly there's so many challenges, there's so many things to do that it seems like after every match, like when I first started, like every match, and it was probably because I had 6 weeks of challenges opened up from the start for me that I was just I mean, that's why I teared up so quick, Rob.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
I gotta be honest because I know you and your son play a ton. But I just had all this opened up right from the start, so, I
Mhm.
mean, I was tearing up quick, and now it's kinda like, "Okay, now what do I" and I wasn't even looking for stuff, it was just like, "I don't know what I'm doing," just stuff is clearing and, getting little check marks, and I'd
Yeah.
get done, it's like, "Oh, you tiered up 5 levels and unlocked all this stuff," and I'm like, what?"
It is
Now
nice.
it's
It is nice, finishing a match and then like collect, 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 collect.
Yes. But
And then you
it
and then you get the missions where you don't have anything to collect. It's like, "What?"
yeah. Well, Lethal was saying that in the chat on the Twitch chat, he was like, "Building is annoying, so I play Realm Royale."
Yeah.
The building part can be annoying, but I do find it kind of fun. The frustrating part is when I'm shooting somebody and a partner or a teammate puts a wall in front of me. I'm
Yes.
like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I was shooting him. I almost had him." And then
Mhm.
by the time you get around, they're hidden, gone, or
Yep.
you know, that annoys me. I know your son did that to you, I think, what, yesterday?
Yeah, yeah. He
You're
he
like, "You just
built
blocked my shot." "Oh,
yeah.
sorry."
No, I was gonna snipe
Um,
somebody and I just lined him up and then right
bam, you
as I
shot the
was
wall.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he built a double wide ramp as he was moving up and then blocked it.
But
It's all good though.
but it's fun, and what I like about the Team Rumble is you really don't have to worry about building. The only building I typically do is to build ramps to get to stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's so many people building stuff, and you've got a ton of people. It's like, what is it, 50 on 50 or something?
20, 2020.
Oh, it's 20 on 20? Okay. There's so many other people on your team that they're building stuff, and people are building it, so you just land on it and, I use their stuff, and the fun part, one thing I really love doing is when you get someone like me who doesn't understand the concept of building stuff, and they just do a straight ramp up in the sky, and I take, like, 2 shots at the bottom ramp and then
Yeah.
watch the whole thing collapse,
Yep.
and they're way at the top, and all of a sudden they're falling.
Mhm.
I love that. And every once in a while, you'll see I eliminated someone just because I tore a building down.
Nice.
That is very satisfying. So,
Hey,
you
if it
don't
works.
have to build. So, and it seems like in Team Rumble, I bet like when I go into like squads, that I'm out of my league there. Like those people, those are the Fortnite professionals. It seems like in the Rumble, it's more of like I feel like I can actually compete. Like I hit the other day I think I had 9 kills in a match this morning. I had 11 the other day. I think my best is 12. Sure I have some where I'm at 1, but I've actually been able to get eliminations and I don't. in this game, and I don't have to build. So
Yeah.
give Team Rumble a shot. But anyways, I've spent a lot of time talking, but you called me. What was that? I sent you a message the other day about it, and you told me I'm a junkie.
Yeah.
Dude, what's sad is all this time I've been sitting here like, I don't wanna play nothing, I'm bored, I wanna play something, but there's nothing to play. It's been sitting here on
R-
my Xbox.
right in
I've
front of your
had it.
nose.
It's like, "Play me, play me."
And I've only been
Um,
talking about it for the last 6 months, every show.
I know, but I'm hooked.
No,
I
I
get
get
it
it.
now,
Yeah.
and I really think the biggest part is playing with my son.
No, I,
That just just that connection that him and I have, like now he won't leave me alone. So, I'll gotta give you all fair warning. If you do this, you may never get any peace or alone time
hmm
because he's constantly by my side now,
yeah.
more than he even was before. But it's awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
I,
Other than that, I did snag a few rounds of Gems of War, um, and they did do an update to that. So and I haven't had a chance to dive in to really see what it was, but I guess there's like missions and stuff. I got to find out what those are about. But I did get a few rounds in of that in the last 2 weeks, but not much.
yeah, one thing I did want to mention that's kind of cool about playing with your son is that, with, like the preteen and the teen as well, uh, gaming community, that is playing that game, it, there's like a whole slew of people, like for example for my son, whole slew of kids from school, from camp, from kids they know, whatever, they all play and they all get online and they talk and they party up and they go into playgrounds, which is the thing you and I kind of struggle with a little bit. They just go in and they like shoot each other. I mean, they do all this stuff and they build this huge community. And then with the parents, most parents know nothing about Fortnite. They
Right.
they don't play. It's just this thing that the kids do where they just keep asking them for money one way or another, right? Get more V-Bucks, more V-Bucks. And there's something cool about having a dad that plays. And my son, brings me into matches with, some of his little school friends are in, and there's always a question. I'm usually not on chat. I just have I don't have my microphone attached. And, I'll just listen to them talking. And then I hear, it's like, who's that? Oh, it's my dad. Is he any good? It's
Oh,
like,
I I was in so my son's got one of his friends from school. So he was
yeah,
playing before school let out. They were playing like every day after school.
sure.
And so I got into a game with him and they were doing was it Playground, I think?
Yeah, playground.
And, yeah,
Love it.
Playground. And so I got in there. So it was just the three of us. And this kid was like, I don't know, he talks a lot. And so he joined and I just kept killing. And so I guess the next day he was telling he was telling my son, your dad's better than the pros. So now my son's like, oh, my friend says you're better than the pros. I'm just laughing because I'm like, no, I'm not. I suck. But my son was like so excited, like,
Yeah.
that, yeah, my dad is good at Fortnite. He was like, it made him light up and he was just beaming. And I'm like, this is cool,
Oh, yeah.
to give your kids something like that. That's not that's a feeling, that's an
Mhm.
emotion that they're so happy, and it was just like, "Oh, that's so cool."
It's an unexpected bonding experience. Totally
So
unexpected.
and just so you know, your son is selling you out on YouTube chat. He says he carries you.
He does.
He
Oh, he
does,
absolutely
and
does.
mine carries me too, so
hmm
I'm being carried well, here's the nice thing, Rob, we're always complaining about the 12-year-olds that are killing us. This time, I actually have a 12-year-old carrying me.
hmm
So
He's do
and it's cool,
he's doing all the
and
building for you.
yeah, and it's awesome because on the Switch, he named in game. he named his character "My Dad is Cool."
Yeah, I
I'm
figured you
just
did that.
no, he did, and I'm just like I just like almost started crying. I'm like, "Oh, that's
Uh,
so awesome." So
that's funny.
so,
Oh, Lethal
but
Migraine saying he's trying to complete the Clash Royale Battle Pass. That's another one that's really good, by the way. They got a Battle Pass, or it's a Pass Royale. That's the name.
I haven't even played Clash Royale in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. They did a huge update. I think it was last week, and they added the Pass Royale. It's like $5, but it's totally worth
Of
it.
course it is.
You level up
Oh,
like
of course it
crazy.
is.
You get tons of loot. But yeah, I can empathize with the building, and the only thing I can say is that it does take a while to get used to. It's different than Save the World. I got so used to building and Save the World where I'm just like running around, and it is basically just doing straight ramps to get up higher.
Yeah.
And then, it's a whole different thing when you're building trap tunnels and stuff, because that's usually all sort of relaxed. It's slow, well, sometimes it's slow, uh,
Yeah.
unless you're being attacked by a huge horde of monsters. But the one thing that you can do, and this helped me a lot, is you do go into playground mode, basically by yourself,
Yeah.
and in there you just practice. There's tutorials on YouTube that the kids have made that basically say how to do it, and you start with different things, and it's just learning the combinations. And there's these things called 90s, which is like you build 90-degree walls and a ramp, and you go up, and that's how they build up really high. So all
Yeah.
it is just practice.
Yeah.
And there's some cool training maps in creative mode for aiming and stuff that have helped me a lot as well. There's a kid, it's a high school kid named Gearsy that makes these phenomenal maps for training. You can find him, just Google his name, Geerzy, and it's phenomenal for just improving aim and tracking as things move, and that can increase your gaming and your kid cred immensely.
Kid cred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a while where I was practicing like every day for, it's like you fire it up and you run through the course like a whole bunch of times for like 15, 20 minutes, and then you go into a game. And then I got into a game with actually, and your son's first account, and we were in there. I got 25 kills that game. That was awesome.
Nice.
But hadn't come close since, so I think it was a fluke. But I hadn't practiced in a while either. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and people kind of rag on it a little bit. It's like, oh, Fortnite, but there's a draw to it. There's definitely a draw to it. I think if it was just the same map and nothing else, no challenges, no nothing, I don't think it would be the same. But they're building this kind of like, what do they call it, a Skinner box
Right.
or whatever of reward. It's like a reward system that is little, it's pretty satisfying. Just running through the game, collecting the fort bites, collecting the challenges, getting your skins. It's like, oh, all right, I leveled up 2 tiers, and now I get this emote. I never really, I basically play with the same character almost 99% of the maps, and I rarely change anything.
Yeah.
But it's nice to get that stuff. It's rewarding, and it's funny with my son's buddies. They're all like, "Oh, how'd you get that?" And to him, like, how'd you get this and that, and you know, the latest skins and everything are they're the talk of the town. Everybody's got to have the latest one. But yeah, it's good. So we got 30 minutes of Fortnite talking. That's phenomenal. I
So
love it.
welcome to this Fortnite life.
Yes, love it, love it. But
uh,
so is that all you've been playing?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, now on to the next half hour of Fortnite talk from
Unless you
me.
want me to talk about that I also purchased the Demogorgon skin, which I think is the coolest thing.
Oh,
I'm running
that thing
around in
is
that game as the
creepy.
Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
That thing is so creepy.
It is.
Oh,
It's like you have no face, but if you dance, the face opens up,
ugh,
like splits open like a flower, and you just see all the mouth and teeth. And I know
ugh.
your son was like, "That's so
It
gross."
is totally.
Oh,
Oh, I hate. Don't wear that anymore, please. Go back to your
yeah,
go back to your robot with the chicken feet,
that's cool too.
with the Sentinel
Yep.
is his name.
Well, if I get to level 87, I'm gonna be trying to unlock that next character, a lady.
Oh
She's the
yeah.
next character. I
Hmm.
forgot the name, but
Vega? No.
nope, I got Vega.
Yeah, I know what you're
I don't
talking
know.
about. Yeah.
It doesn't matter that people here are tired. We're gonna lose
Yes.
people. We spend too
Yes.
much time on Fortnite.
Or we need to start putting Fortnite keywords in our search
Yeah,
stuff.
there you go.
But yeah, so I've been playing a bunch more Fortnite as well. Some Battle Royale, not so much Save the World. But for both of them, they've been having the 14 days of Fortnite.
Summer,
So, of summer, right?
14 days of summer.
Yeah, which for us is 14 days of Fortnite. so so you get a lot of free stuff. There's some challenges on the Battle Royale side, and also there's a lot of good stuff on the Save the World side too. So there's challenges, basically like quests that you have to
Yeah.
complete. And if you complete all of them, you get the boom bow, which was made very popular a while back in Battle Royale. It's basically a compound bow that shoots exploding arrows and it uses rockets. It's really good. So that's something to shoot for. And I think there's like 8 or 9 days left, something like that.
Yeah.
So if you've played Save the World, definitely grind that out if you can. And then also, since there's only like 2 weeks left, I think 3 weeks, somewhere around there. It's the current season's ending at the end of the month, I believe. Um, should get the Beyond the Stellar Horizon or something like that, and whatever that other
So
event
there's a
was.
summer event in Save the World 2
Oh yeah,
as well. Oh, geez. So you can't play just one mode. You got to play.
yeah, you got to
I
do them
just I
both.
just have to quit my job so I can have time to play all
Hmm.
this. Play Fortnite.
Yeah, but the one
Uh,
for Save the World, it's actually pretty easy
yeah.
because you just got to collect certain things. Like there's one that's collect fireworks, set off fireworks, usually on roofs and stuff, and
Yeah.
um, you can grind through. It was like there was one game that I finished like three of them at once. So they're pretty basic, and the rewards are pretty good. And then after this, supposedly the next event is going to be the birthday event because we're nearing the 2 year anniversary. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out on that, supposedly. But yeah, Fortnite and Battle Royale, not Battle Royale, Clash Royale. That's been a lot of fun with the new changes that they've done. Like I said earlier, they've reworked it a lot. And my son and I have been grinding with the new challenge for the fisherman's challenge. We've been doing a lot of work on that, and that's been a lot of fun. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that's about it for this episode, right? Of this Fortnite life. We should
This
probably,
Fortnite Clash Royale. We
yeah,
should just start a new show.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
funny.
the Xbox thing hasn't really panned out. We're not millionaires. We're gonna move over to the
Yeah,
Fortnite life. Yeah,
exactly.
there.
We can talk about the new releases in the store and
Yeah, the skins
changes
every day.
changes to the
We could
map.
do an episode every day and talk about what's new in the
Mm-hmm.
store.
Oh, it's interesting
So,
some of the content that people release for that gets like tons of views. Just some some people just release like kills, just like videos of like weird stuff that happens in the game. Other
uh,
people do like an hour long of an emote playing, or doing a dance
Wow.
just nonstop, or cycling through the store, and it's really interesting what people do. But anyway,
Crazy.
let's get on with the show.
Yes.
Yes. Couple quick announcements. If you would like to support the show, there's a couple ways you can do that. First off is our Patreon. So, oh, what is that? Clash Royale?
I had to boot it up.
Yeah.
I got to see what this pass is about.
Yeah, I can
No.
explain it to you after the show. I won't tie it.
Woo! I collected
And
something.
yeah, yeah, you get a lot of stuff you can collect with it. But
All right.
the there's our Patreon. The Patreon is a great way to support the show. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. It's greatly appreciated. Helps us, pay for hosting and all that other stuff that is unfortunately not free and unfortunately not as cheap as people like to think. But thank you so much for all the patrons that have supported us so far to date. And also, you can leave us a tip at thisxboxlife.com/donate. Also, subscribe to us on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. And if you're a Twitch Prime user, you get one free subscription you can throw to basically anybody. And we appreciate it if you do that to this Xbox Life on Twitch. That also helps us out immensely. So now onto the show. First off, I don't know if I ever even mentioned the name of the show when we first started off, and that was Scarlet Rumors. Actually, I think I did because I talked about the color. But anyway, there's some rumors that came out about the Scarlett Xbox device that we've been hearing about for quite some time. Brad Sams, who is one of the notorious insider leakers. Well, not really, but he's a journalist that seems to have a big, ear in Microsoft. People tell him
Yeah.
stuff that seems to come true more often than not, along with Paul Thurrott. But Brad had a video that he released, was it, I believe, last Wednesday, where he talked about some information that he had heard about Scarlett, and I thought some of this stuff was kind of interesting, and some of it was him sort of, just throwing stuff out there, stuff that makes sense to him, or is it, more substantiated, and he's just not saying
Yeah.
it. Who knows? But the stuff that he was talking about, which was I thought kind of interesting, was that first of all, we had a couple of consoles rumored for a very long time. So there was the successor to the Xbox, which is going to have like a premium console, which I believe was what, Anaconda or something like that. Yeah, I think that's the premium box. And then, or maybe I'm messing them up. And then there's going to be like a lesser box. We had talked previously about having like a Roku style box, which is like a lower power Xbox that could possibly do video. We talked about that. And then there's going to be the successor to the Xbox One S and then the Scarlett console. So, from what Brad was saying, looks like Lockhart is gone. So, this is the mid level S replacement. So, that I guess is history for the time being. Who knows if it'll surface in a different form? But we're going to have the premium console, which they said what was going to be like 4 or 5 times faster than the current X or
Right.
something along those lines. And then Scarlett was going to be the cheapy, possibly stick device. I'm saying that, I don't think it was mentioned anywhere, but some kind of little box that is basically just used for streaming and basic services, right? And
Right.
from what he had said, that it's basically still a thing. So, confirmed to a degree, I guess, that, it is still being worked on. It has not been cut. And he even threw out a couple prices where he estimated that it could potentially be as low as $60 and maybe even $80 or approximately around there, possibly with a controller thrown in. But who knows? I would think that we would be able to use our existing controllers if we had them. You know,
Right. But he did say you could use. I thought he said you could use the existing controller.
sure. I wouldn't see why you wouldn't if you had them,
Right.
especially if you had an Elite or something like that. But it would be interesting to me to see if it includes the older controllers or if it just needs like one of the new Bluetooth ones. But who knows? Or maybe you can even USB it. Either one. So that
Yeah.
puts it into an interesting territory, sub $100. You know, how would that play into the other streaming services that are out there like Stadia? You know, because
Yep.
Stadia, you're buying into it, what, for $130 initially? You're getting 3 months of service plus the device, which with its custom controller. And it was just interesting to see finally, some cost because, we really didn't know where it was going to be. They hadn't really talked about pricing. There were no leaks about pricing. We knew the Xbox One S.
See see that, Rob. I
Oh
have to
yeah.
interrupt.
Oh yeah.
It's Demi.
That's right. Yes.
He's got her unlocked.
Oh nice. Yeah, Mark just held up a Switch with
Oh,
cuz she's
Demi.
like level 89, I think, right? 89 or
Something
90.
like, yeah, is that level 89? Yeah, he's sitting in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so he just unlocked it, and that's that one girl that's like it's like that Asian
Yeah.
uh dress thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway,
yeah.
sorry. Not to bring us back to Fort.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll have more ways to bring it back to Fortnite talk. Just kidding.
Probably.
Yeah. But so
Hey,
this
Rob, can I get my pickaxe that you borrowed?
yeah. Hey, send me those V-Bucks. But I just thought it was interesting that, we have sort of a confirmation that this thing is still in the works, that, you know, the xCloud service is going to be able, to be done on most any device, Xbox, browser, whatever, mobile device, and not Stadia, the Scarlett device as well. Let's see, was there anything else in this? I don't think so. So, with that being said, Mark, what do you think? Would you jump on this?
If they do a sub $100 streaming box, I absolutely get it without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, I also plan to get the high end as well,
Sure.
but if they both come on the same day, and if I can, I get them both. But I would buy the probably traditional expensive one first if I could only get one. Um, Even though that probably makes no sense, but um, the streaming one I want to because I want to know how it works. I want to play it. I want to try that out. I want to, but again, we got to know, is that going to, how the price structure is going to be for cloud, because that might be cheap, but will see, there's still a lot of questions. And if I recall, we can use our Xboxes, like our consoles, to stream. So I think, like, if I'm traveling, my understanding is I could stream off my Xbox
Mm-hmm.
at the house, no matter where I'm at, and use that as like a cloud player to play my library. But if I don't want to leave my device on all the time or have it open to the, punch through the firewall, so to speak, and to, get to it, I'm not sure how they're going to do all that. But it, if I can take an $80 one, do I s then do I have to pay? Remember, because we did find out that the xCloud is going to be a paid service.
Understandably so.
So that $80 price, may not be all it might be more to it. You might have to pay a subscription on top of it. So I think it really depends on what they're doing that, will it just be, included that you don't have to necessarily pay for xCloud, but you'd have to pay obviously for any of your games. Can I buy that $80 device and play all my games that I like all the games I already own in my library? Well, they should be in the cloud as part of xCloud. So if I buy that and I log in with my account, do I have free access to play those? So that really is gonna play a part or a big deal of whether I buy that streaming device. If I don't have to pay extra, I can just get that out the gate, then yeah, I would. And I think it'd be really cool if it was not a but I can't see how you'd have to have like a stick. But if they did like those Amazon Fire Sticks or something, I carry one of those around when I travel. I love it. Plug it in, connect to the hotel Wi-Fi, boom, I'm streaming Netflix or streaming Amazon or whatnot. Um, if they had one of those with a regular controller that you could just plug in and play that way, that would be awesome. No more carrying the console. Heck yeah, I'm on board with that if it works.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
at the gate, I think I'm more excited about the next gen hardware and the traditional console just because I'm more old school, As we get older, the new technology is scary.
Yeah.
Even though it's cheaper.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, no. I mean, I think you did. The one thing I think is kind of interesting about this is that if these rumors are true, we're looking at premium console and we're looking at the streaming device. There's nothing in between. Just the fact that if this Lockhart device did get shelved, canned, whatever you want to call it, where does that leave that? It's like if you don't want the premium, then I mean you're going streaming.
And I
And
I that could and I do think that could be a problem.
or is it?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
think so,
how is it a problem?
because not everybody has great internet,
That I see what you're saying.
okay? In fact, like, I live in the boondocks and I got gigabit internet out here, but that's just because I live in the Seattle area, right? Even though I'm in the country, they got a wire out here, right? I was just home in the largest city in the state that my parents live in, and it took forever to download Fortnite onto my son's Switch.
It's a big download,
Um,
by the way.
it
Well,
it took for no,
yeah,
but I
not on the
mean,
Switch.
it and even on the Xbox, I had to download it. It took forever. Like, here, it'd have been done in a few minutes. I mean, it's just that's how fast. So, if you're in an area and that's in a large city, granted, I don't know, they may have faster available, and my parents just don't know what they're doing and may not have purchased it or don't need it, but there are areas that just don't have fast internet, and so if you're living in one of those areas and it's like, "Well, I don't have $500 and don't have super fast internet to be completely cloud reliant," then that takes you out of the Xbox environment. That's why I think they need that middle tier that says, "I can't do streaming only. I want a box, but I'm not a first day. I can't afford $500 out the gate." I think but again, then that's 3 SKUs out the door. It can be confusing, and Microsoft has problems with getting their messaging clear to people, as we know
Slightly.
that all too
Yeah.
well.
Hmm.
So, it might lessen and not make it, there's a console and then there's a streaming box. I get it. It makes it simple. However, I think those that are in that middle area that don't have the high bandwidth to go cloud only and don't have the money for the 500, if Sony comes out with something that's a mid tier, there you go. Those people are going to go buy it.
Yeah.
But again, when the original, like anytime a new console comes out, it's always expensive to start.
Sure.
So it might not I might be kind of like overthinking it or, you know, because we have so many options right now. But when something new comes out, there's usually one and you pay the price. just like with the Xbox One. Had they released one without the Kinect, it would have been $100 cheaper and probably would have sold a heck of a lot more. You know, price is big, and when you and you can't rely on now they're saying, oh well, you can either pay $580. No, the $80 requires you to have a very good internet connection. You know, and regardless of what they say, well, here's your minimum, blah, whatever. I don't buy into minimums, and you both know from gaming in a PC world, if you are at minimum requirements to run a PC game, that thing is barely going to run. Is
Yeah.
and so I don't want to buy a new console that's barely going to run.
That's where at minimum you're running like everything on low.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, bandwidth is going to be a huge thing. Also, there's people that have bandwidth limits of how much data they can up and down. So and now we're all on Netflix and we're streaming 4K, doing digital movies and music, and everything's going through the cloud. Now if you're backing up your data on your PC to OneDrive or Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever, that yeah, those are probably smaller, but if you've got pictures and videos of the kids and the family, those are large files. All that adds up under the same bucket of data.
Hmm.
So a streaming console again could be a deterrent for a lot of people for various different reasons.
Sure.
So that's why I hope it's cheap.
Yeah.
I think they'll sell a lot if it's cheap. Because even the people that are Sony people, how can you be a a PlayStation gamer or a Nintendo gamer only, right? I get it now. You don't want to spend $1,000 on two different consoles. But if you are a PlayStation guy or girl, and then that's awesome. That's cool if you are. That's fine. But now, like if Microsoft says, "Well, we have this $80 device and you can buy Halo and Gears and Forza and Crackdown in the Xbox exclusive games for a very cheap entry price." I think you're going to see it would make sense for them to come over. And then vice versa. If Sony releases something like that, that is more of not a $20 monthly charge plus the piece of hardware, I would absolutely buy a stick for $80 from Sony to be able to play their exclusives. That would be great. It's going to expand everybody's um, customer base. I just
Sure.
see it as a
Right.
win-win for everybody. And then especially with the and then outside of that, well, yeah, that's good. It's all good if they can do that. Get together, people. Let's play nicely.
And having it sub $100, I think pushes it more into impulse buy territory.
Mhm.
Because I know I've done that with two Roku's in
Yeah.
the past. Yeah, let me just get this. It's convenient. And then like an upgraded one came out. Yeah, let me get the new one. It does 4K. Actually, I've done that with Roku's and Fires, Amazon Fires.
I love my Amazon Fire Stick.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, man. We used it this last 2 weeks at my parents'. My kids were sleeping, down in the basement, and we had a TV down there, and I just stuck the Fire Stick in the back, and they were watching Netflix.
Yeah.
They love it. It's like because even like when I go to my parents, it's like, it's a different cable system, different channels, you don't know where anything's at, and, here at home, most of my kids just typically watch Netflix.
Right.
So, when you're traveling, they can watch what they're used to. It's such a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Lethal Migraine said that Sony is too Japanese for them to do that. What I was saying earlier about the, Sony to bring out like a
Small
stick.
device. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, we
We'll
should
know
get
soon
all
enough.
specs next E3.
Yeah.
Are they gonna get I want more. I don't wanna wait till E3 to find out, but I don't know. What do you think? You think they're gonna make us wait till E3 a whole
I
till
I think we'll get the information, like bits and pieces over the next year, and then
yeah.
the big dump at E3. because I'm imagining this is going to be targeted for the holiday 2020, just like the premium
That
console.
yeah.
That's our timeline.
Ooh, hope I dodged the microphone.
I think you hit it somehow.
Oh,
You did not.
sorry.
You did not do a good job dodging, but it wasn't too bad.
My headset cord is like
Yeah,
super short, so I tried to move and it stopped me.
it's so mini.
Sorry.
So yeah. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing.
All right.
I thought this was kind of interesting. Where we've had Game Pass for some time now, and we don't really know fully how Game Pass works because games drop into it. Some games go straight into it if they're the Microsoft um, Studio titles or the Xbox titles, Xbox Game Studio titles rather. But how does a dev benefit from it? In addition, the not the Game Pass, but the games with gold, because some games again go straight into games with gold where they're given away for free.
Yeah.
And there was there were some changes with Game Pass recently with the new edition of Ultimate, which now ties in live with Game Pass PC. So now you essentially have like three services for one monthly cost. And
Yeah.
there was an interview done by Eurogamer where rather, it was a story by Eurogamer where they compiled the opinions of some devs onto Game Pass about Game Pass, and um, the co-founder of Playdead, Dino Patti, said that consumers want as many games as possible, as free as possible, and you can't get anything for free. So you need to find the right price. But that's the angle. Developers need to look at what does this get me? And for me, and I think, and I might be biased, but I think the way business is for Game Pass, wait, but I think the way business is for Game Pass, it's the first time that I would consider. This is a little weird for
Yeah.
developers. It's written strangely. Um, I've been I've been suggested subscriptions, and that's never worked out because they don't know what developers need, and in the end, it's the developers putting out a game for free. With Game Pass, they're doing it correctly for developers. So this is a little, I don't know if this was translated or what, but it was written very strangely. However, it brings up a good point because, people are used to paying 99 cents for mobile games, right? Or sometimes even
Yeah.
free. Like you can play Clash Royale without dropping a dime. And, it's in the end, the developers, publishers, or whatever, they need to get paid for their hard work, especially when they're working on a title for years sometimes. And it looks like they're doing something right with this, at least more so than some of the other services, like with subscriptions and so forth. Now, with subscriptions, would that be something like World of Warcraft? Is that what they're kind of leaning against? Because I don't know if that's really a subscription, but it's a monthly cost
Right.
to pay. I mean, you have the upfront cost, then there's the monthly cost. I guess um that's where they're angling it from. And then so basically he says that it's fair and that it's working out for the smaller developers. And Paradox's former head, Fred Wester, made some comments about how Game Pass can be improved. He said, now at Paradox, we loved that business model because people play our games for 3 or 4 thousand hours, while Game Pass model to us is still a decent model we think we're not getting paid enough because people play our games more than they play very single player driven narratives. So there is, would you basically see that as some titles it might work for, but if somebody's playing a game like Fortnite, for example, if you're playing a game for hundreds of gaming sessions, maybe that doesn't pay out. Maybe something, there's another revenue model that might pay more.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. So I wonder, I would imagine that they, and this is me just purely speculating, but with Game Pass, it's probably paid out to the developers based on an install count, right? So if they get like 1 million installs of it, then they get paid a certain amount, or if people actually play it, because that could potentially be two different things, right? Because we all install games sometimes that we never play.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you play it for a few minutes and
Hmm.
then and
Yeah.
it I don't know because they also do with the Microsoft rewards, there's a lot of like you can earn 200 points, reward points, just for and it's they give you a way for like getting to achievements or something in a Game Pass game. So they're also incentivizing people to play or install or download and install Game Pass games that you may not be playing. And I've done that. I've actually installed a few, and actually found some that were like, "Hey, this is kind of a cool game," that I would have never, never tried before. So Microsoft's also giving out incentives there to the gamer to install the games that are already essentially, included in our subscription. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. It'd be neat to know, but I mean, personally, I kind of really don't think about it too much. It's like if the devs are happy and it's working, and the gamers are happy, sweet.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. Get more stuff in there. And the fact that stuff like the stuff that I can get, like the new Halo, the new Gears, the new Forza, and not have to pay $60 a pop,
Hmm.
to me is that's huge. It frees up money for more other games, from other places,
Hmm.
other developers and like Ubisoft titles and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. So even though I'd love to see everything come under there, ultimately, and I'll still hold on to this. I'd still like to see like GameFly. I know I've said this so many times.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get GameFly on the Xbox where you can digitally rent? I mean, they know when it's installed and uninstalled. I would pay, Microsoft's got this service now, we've
Hmm.
got the cloud, we got all this. All they gotta do is say, pay an extra amount of money, or even with Game Pass, you know, like,
Yeah.
why can't we get everybody in there? And then we can just pay a monthly fee and play what we want, even if it's 1 game at a time or 2 games at a time, and structure it if you wanna have 2, 3, 5 games downloaded at once and play them all, and you pay more. I mean, but you can get EA or Ubisoft. I mean, GameFly's doing it somehow.
Hmm. Oh
Why
yeah.
can't we do it digitally?
Yep.
That to me is the ultimate dream. The part of that's gonna be hard on that is getting, how do these guys get paid? Now that is the problem. But they're doing it with physical versions. I would think they'd be able to do it with a digital version where they're not having to print discs, you know?
Hmm.
It's just I don't know, but that could be very lucrative,
Oh yeah.
and you can still buy it if you wanted it, even on Game Pass. If you want a game, you could buy it, and you get it at a discount, and then it's always in your library.
Oh yeah. Yeah. One other
I
thing that Fred from Paradox or prior at Paradox mentioned, he drew a comparison with how Spotify and Netflix pay musicians and filmmakers. He said Spotify, they pay you depending on how many times your song has been played. On Netflix, they pay you a fixed fee depending on what they think your product is worth.
Huh.
That's two different fundamental things.
Yeah. Which probably means
Yeah.
that's probably why there's not why and I can understand that makes sense now with Netflix why it's hard to find anything other than Netflix original content
Yeah.
because people I don't think these companies are gonna they and they shouldn't let Netflix dictate, well, we'll tell you what we think it's worth, based on viewership. Well, you're gonna just take people away, you know. They're gonna go do their own thing
Mm-hmm.
and just bring their own get okay, well, fine. And we know what it's worth. We'll just do a membership and people come to us. Netflix, I think, is going to see a massive drop in um subscriptions once Disney's launches theirs
Oh,
because all the
yeah.
Marvel, all the Disney, everything's going to come off of Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh,
And that's the
absolutely.
bad thing is like that's the nightmare of all this is segmenting everything where you have to pay every company. Like cable, I mean, if you think about it, cable, as much as people hate cable, it allows you to watch a bunch of stations and you pay one price. It's all there if you want it. You pay a different tier if you want everything. We need that in the streaming world as well for TV shows, for movies, for video games. We got it. We kind of got it for music. Um, you can go to Apple and pay them $15 a month and stream anything you want, or you can go to Spotify, or you can go to Pandora, or you can go to Amazon, and you can pay a subscription to stream your music, and you can get. I don't think there's a lot of limitations there. Um, there might be one or two bands that are going to go specific to a certain source, but I think it's pretty minor. Like anything I've ever looked up on Apple TV or not Apple TV, but Apple Music, it's there. I've been able to stream anything I want. So that's what I think we need for TV and for video games. I just want that same type of model to come over. So if Apple and if we can do it in the music industry, who are probably have been the biggest sticklers for getting their money, we've got to be able to do it everywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's my dream, man. It's my dream.
Yeah, there's another thing he or Fred mentioned. He goes on live, for example. They said that you can have your game on our service, and we're going to attract a lot of customers, and we're going to deliver you money based on how many hours people play the game. Now at Paradox, we loved that business model because people play our games for 3 or 4 thousand hours. While the Game
Well,
Pass model to us is still a decent model, we think we're not getting paid enough because people play our games more than they play very single player driven narratives. This is the
yeah.
exact quote on what I had mentioned earlier. So at this point, him saying that, I mean, that basically says it's not that Spotify model, right?
Right.
So they do have some kind of valuation or maybe install base or who knows what. And he goes, he went on further to say, well, you need to consider. So he was talking to developers when he said this. Well, you need to consider now when people throw money at you is 3 years from now when the pendulum has swung back and all of a sudden you're standing there knocking on Microsoft's door saying, please let us in again, which is going to happen eventually. We all know that. Hopefully,
Yeah.
is your business model sustainable? And this has been, and has it been the whole time? And do you have direct access to people playing your games? And he goes, these are the two things that you should think about because if you sell yourself now with a business model you don't even believe in because you get 10 million cash in hand I don't think you're going to have a good time in 3 years because these times are not going to come back.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I got that noise again.
Time will tell.
Yeah. But interesting stuff. There's a whole developer side to this, right?
Yeah.
That we as consumers of these products really don't hear about, and it's it's very interesting. And in some cases, Microsoft might not be the good guy, right?
We don't care how the sausage is made. Just make sure the sausage is good.
And tasty, yeah.
Yep.
But
All right.
anyway, a couple things we can just kind of roll through here real quick. Batman Arkham Collection has been leaked by Amazon UK. Yay for them. I always enjoy the Batman games.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the one that was on Telltale, but the other ones like Arkham Asylum and so forth. So the Batman Arkham Collection is going to be out on Xbox One, PS4. It's going to include Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and Batman Arkham Knight, all in one package. It's going to be a trilogy coming out on September 6th. And also, they're going to be definitive versions.
Enhanced for Xbox One X.
Yeah. So, definitive versions of Rocksteady's Arkham Trilogy. Um,
Pretty sweet.
yeah. And it doesn't include that one, Origins, which was not made by them.
I think that was.
WB Games Montreal.
Oh yeah. Which is weird because WB owns Batman.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do the others?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But Rocksteady did a great job.
Oh, yeah. And according to the listing, the retail release is going to feature a steel book. I think we have maybe a couple of community members that are going to be excited by that. Ones that collect the steel books, and there might be versions for Switch and Stadia.
Hmm.
Who knows? We'll see. But it's cool that they're going to be remastered, whatever you call it, definitive. Is that a thing? But
Sanitized.
yeah, because I played the one that's on Game Pass not too long ago, and it was good. I mean, it was good. It was a little dated, but it was still fun. So I'm sure that these definitive versions will be good as well. Um, in addition to Batman, Stardew Valley's a fantastic game. It's a huge time sink. It's a fairly inexpensive game. I think it's like $15. Yeah, $15 in the Microsoft Store. So it's sort of like one of those farming games that take forever. Not as bad as Farmville. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody that is given this game a chance has usually fallen in love with it. But there's been a multiplayer patch that came to the PC version like years ago. It seems like, well, a long time ago, maybe last year. I don't know if it was earlier this year, but it was a long time ago. And it's going to be coming out on Xbox in the next couple of weeks. So if you're a Stardew Valley player, or if you played it when it first came out and you put it aside, it might give reason to fire it up again. And then should have mentioned this one a while ago when we were talking about Game Pass and all that, although that wasn't too long ago. But Microsoft Game Studios became Xbox Game Studios, and they've acquired a whole bunch of studios, including An Exile, right? Rare, Playground, Obsidian, 343, right?
Hmm.
Plus others as well. They made another acquisition, and this is just kind of interesting. It's sort of like an industry thing, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And that's they have also acquired a lady by the name of Fiona Cherback, and she worked for Sony for the last 4 years, and they hired her on as a talent acquisition lead for Xbox Game Studios. She's the one that built up the staff over at Sony Santa Monica, which made the God of War game.
Okay.
So she's got, I guess, some good cred there. And now she's going to be working at Xbox Game Studios. So, they have that one. What was that one studio that they're creating? Is that the Initiative?
Y-
That's the new one, right?
yes, I think
Yeah.
that's correct.
So maybe she's going to be involved in that and basically just, cherry picking people from
The best of the
competitors.
best.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting that they hired somebody away from Sony. So maybe they cherry picked somebody from Sony that could then cherry pick from other teams. Who knows? But
I think it happens a lot,
yeah, oh, it does. People shift around in the
especially in my
industry.
industry.
Yeah.
It's constant. It's like all the time someone is going to a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Just I think we bounce around.
Yeah.
I know if I ever change jobs, I'll probably be just. I probably know I could probably name one of 4 companies that I'll probably be with.
That's how it
It
goes.
seems to be what everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
So
But yeah, that was it for the roundtable. We're jumping into the community real quick. You can leave us a voicemail at thisxboxlife.com. Click on the voicemail widget on the right hand side of the screen. I'll leave us up to a 90-second message. We will play your message here on the show. Or you can also record an MP3, send it to contact at thisxboxlife.com. We have a Twitter account and a Facebook group. To join the Facebook group, you can go to thisxboxlife.com/Facebook. Answer the easy questions that you get when you join the group. And it is a closed group, which means we need to prove everybody that's in there. It helps keep the spammers out and all that other good stuff. Um, so on to this week's retail releases.
Okay, Rob, what you got for us today? What you got for us to play? Give us a list of games that we can buy and play. Okay, Rob.
For the week of July 10th through the 12th, that's a very short week of 3 days. We have on the 10th, Doling's Invasion, Soul Seraph, I think that's how you say that, Grass Cutter, Mutated Lawns. Oh boy. That one is X enhanced. On the
okay.
11th, on the 11th we have Blazing Chrome, Agelos. On the 12th, Redeemer Enhanced Edition, and Streets of Rogue, also X enhanced. It's definitely an indie week this week.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has something to do with the summer and after a holiday weekend here in the United States. I don't know. We'll see what we get next week. And then games with gold. We have for the month of July Inside. So you can enjoy this one if you haven't had the chance to play it yet. It's a pretty good game for the first, 2/3 before it gets a
Like
little funky.
what is it? Until you get to the window, stop
Yeah.
there. Go
Yeah.
any further.
Yeah. And then exiting, when is that leaving? So that's the 15th is next week. Okay. It's not exiting anytime soon. For the beginning, wait. Yeah, we have Inside continuing. Then we have Big
It's
Crown
tough.
Showdown. Is that right? Yeah. Or
till the
Rivals
15th.
of Aether. I think I might have these days messed up. Anyway,
Yeah.
that
You've got inside showing that it ended in July. Oh no, we're still in
you know,
month.
I gotta check these dates. I typed them in by hand.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there you go. That's the problem right there. And then Xbox 360 and back compat, we have Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the month of July. I think I forgot to delete some of these. That's what it was. And yeah, that was it. So another great way to support the show is if you are an Amazon user, which most of us are. Use our affiliate link each time you make a purchase on Amazon. It's a great way to support the show. Um, Basically, we get a little finder's fee for sending you their way. You can find that on the Facebook group up at the top in the like a pinned post, and then also at the This Xbox Life website. If you're an iTunes user, find us in iTunes, give us a review, 5 stars if you could. That helps boost us in the rankings over there so more folks can find out about the show. And follow us on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. And thanks to Learned Your Lesson for the music. And then also, I would want to say that the MP3s are being delayed approximately a couple of days up to a week because there's this technical problem with how we get the audio for the show with YouTube. And I'm working on an alternate method for this, but the YouTube video should be up quickly, and it's always on Twitch as well, right away, and it streams out the Mixer as well. So some funky technical stuff over there. We'll get it resolved as soon as we can. And that's it. That's all I've got for episode 535. How about you, Mark?
That's it for me. So thanks for watching and joining, everybody. Glad to be back. And I'm Mark at K-Wingman709. Take it up.
And I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you all next week. And you can probably find Mark playing Grass Cutter, right?
Not going to happen.
This week? No? Okay, we'll see.
Fortnite.
A fork knife. That's the name of the game. All right, everybody. Catch y'all next time.